that to happen at this point. I think a positive thing that the United States might do in the circumstance is to join the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. That may seem like a counterintuitive conclusion based on what we've just said about the gaps in the law of the sea and the way that it may not provide answers in this particular situation. But I think the U.S. joining the Law of the Sea Convention could do a couple of things which would be at least marginally helpful in the Western Pacific at this point. One would be that it would demonstrate a commitment to the peaceful settlement of disputes and the rule of law. Symbolic though it may be, it would be a reaffirmation of that on the part of still arguably the world's greatest maritime power. Secondly, it would give us enhanced authority as a broker and as a mediator in the region. Over and over again, states in the area plead with us, sometimes privately, sometimes publicly, to join the Law of the Sea Convention. We are the only country that is a participant in these disputes that is not a member of the convention. And I believe that for reasons that we don't have time to talk about today, that the risk of the convention to the United States are very overdrawn and exaggerated. So in 15 minutes, there's your tutorial on the complexity of the Western Pacific, and if you have questions when we get to that stage, we'll be happy to talk about that. Thanks very much.
Professor Commander Kraska will now talk to us about the simple issue of piracy and deep water crime.
Thank you very much, Professor Walker, Admiral, Professor Dunlap, and Professor Sulmasy. Talk about the issue of private maritime security companies as an adjunct for shipboard security in the Western Indian Ocean, primarily driven by the threat of Somali piracy. So there are a lot of issues, legal and political issues, that have arisen in the context of Somali piracy. And from the political side, there's issues of stability in Somalia, governance in Somalia, stabilization. On the legal side, you may have been exposed to some of the issues with regard to prosecution of pirates, extradition. In other words, what does the dog do when the dog catches the car? Once you've got pirates, what do you do with them? This is an issue that really has bedeviled the United States and other countries since about 2005. So what has been the response? There's been three responses. The first, the initial response, was the thought that we could solve the problem by introducing warships into the area.